There is a dark secret with Thrawn's troops, and it stems even deeper than you might think. Welcome to Star Wars Uplink. Episode 6 of Ahsoka was honestly one of the most Star Wars episodes we've gotten in any of the Disney Plus TV shows. From the callbacks to the characters returning to the variety of storytelling there to new things that we've never seen before in Star Wars, like the whole idea of another galaxy. While yes, we have seen it in Legends, this is the real first time that we've actually spent a decent amount of time in another galaxy, far, far away. And yes, there is the Ezra topic, and yes, there is the Baylan topic that we covered on Thursday, but today I want to talk about something that I find one of the most fascinating parts of it, and it begins with Thrawn's troops. When we kicked off last episode of Ahsoka, they were headed to the other galaxy. They had rigged up this giant ship with multiple hyperdrive engines to be able to brute force their way to this other galaxy. And in this episode, they made it to the planet of Peridea, which is in this other galaxy of Star Wars, beyond the one we know of, even more far, far away. And I love the whole idea of them exploring this side of things. I also love the idea of Baylan's skull wanting to find out more about the specific planet, and Thrawn and team just wanting to get off of it as soon as they possibly can. It's a great dichotomy. And then we get to Thrawn. Thrawn is looking a little worse for wear. A lot of people are making fun of the very clearly fake belly that they've put on him. And I think that's mostly to do with indicating how long he has been there, with lack of resources and lack of, I don't know, I feel like he has a lot of time to work out, but I think it's mostly to do with conveying age, because you can see on the sides of his hair there are a little bit of gray streaks, there's wear on the outfit, and his so poor Chimera. Honestly, one of my favorite ships in Star Wars. It's super awesome. It's awesome to see it in live action, but man, is it looking tough. Then you look at his troops, and I love the awesome note here because it's drawing from a lot of great inspirations. There's Captain Enoch, who is freaking amazing. I love the note and I love the unique quality around his helmet. Definitely drawing in some of the ideas of how frequently do you think of the Roman Empire memes before it even was a thing, I guess. Perfect timing. But if you look past Enoch and you look at the rest of the troopers, you notice something very different about them. Besides the awesome usage of the Kensukuroi, it's originally a Japanese art of repairing pottery, broken pottery with gold, but you can see it in the armor here, repairing a lot of the breaking and the wear and tear with gold, which apparently seems to be pretty prolific on this planet, which I love that note. But if you look past that, you see a lot of the background characters having this deep red material, this ribbon wrapping around them. And this is where my theory comes along here. If you look at the big theory around Merrick, and the actual revelation that we saw that he basically was no one but was animated by the Night Sisters, this is where my theory comes in. Taking that idea and taking the idea that Thrawn is working very closely with the Great Mothers of the Night Sisters, this is something that they can do, which is reanimating the dead. And I think this is exactly what is happening in this instance here. There are a couple reasons why I have this theory, and I think there's a good reason for how they move. If you pay attention closely, a lot of these stormtroopers are actually CGI characters. They aren't people in actual suits, and I think this is a way to just get your thoughts a little tingly, because when you see someone that is designed out of CGI, you have a little bit of a ding in your brain of like, something doesn't look right here, and I think that's very intentional, because it would be a lot easier for them just to put people in suits and it would be perfectly fine. But I think they intentionally made them CGI. As they move, they do look strange, almost a little robotic. But as you can see, the armor, everything paired with it is not robotic at all. It's not clean, crisp. It's broken down. It's rough. It's gritty. It is worn. And if you look at the colors on these ribbons, they do match quite well with the Night Sisters. Red. I think that's a great little note. And on top of that, Star Wars is no stranger to zombies, especially zombie stormtroopers. It's something that we've all wanted to see. I personally, in the Battlefront 2 days, would have loved to see a zombie stormtrooper mode similar to like Call of Duty zombies. I think that would be really fun. But if you look back into the Legends materials, there are many examples of zombie stormtroopers, whether that be some kind of parasite taking over the stormtroopers and taking away their sentience, and the many examples of Night Sisters using their magic to reanimate the dead, like the Witches of Dathomir against Count Dooku in Clone Wars. We are no strangers to zombies in Star Wars. There are tons of examples of this. But why would this become an option? As we can see, Thrawn is on his final threads. He is on the edge of reality, the galaxy. He cannot make it back, and he has a mission that he's been trying to fulfill ever since the Rebels days. And it's been 9 years that he's been trapped on this world, and he has been trying to, one, survive and find a way to get off of this planet. And if you look closely at Ezra, his chainmail does look a lot like some stormtrooper dog tags, so it does seem like he has been trying to attack Ezra in some way, unsuccessfully as we can see. And there has been mention of this. When Sabine is sent off into the wilderness, they say, oh yes, we have the last known location for Ezra, here you go. And then someone else is like, shouldn't we send more people out there with them to make this more clear? Thrawn straight up says, yes, our forces have been dwindling since our last expedition. Which, if they are dead and they are reanimated, that does poke a hole in this theory, which is the next thing I want to talk about. Why wouldn't this be the case? Why would Thrawn decide to have reanimated zombie stormtroopers underneath him as part of his legion? That's the question. And I do wonder if it's become so desperate for him to sustain this ship that he needs a certain amount of people to be able to run it, to be able to keep things going. But why would he choose to do that? Why would he choose to do that out of all of the other choices? Is he just lonely? Or is that just how dedicated he is to getting back to the galaxy and fulfilling his ultimate mission? In the Thrawn books, he is very analytical, but he also is quite, I don't know if I want to say caring, but he is very considerate of what needs to be done for his troops to do the best job possible. And maybe that was the way to keep things going, but I definitely don't think it's going to instill confidence from everybody that, oh hey, you don't get the rest after you die here, you just get thrown right back into the loop. It's like having a dream about your job and having that done over and over again. But let me know your thoughts on this theory. I think it would be awesome to see some zombie stormtroopers. As much as I wanted to play devil's advocate there, I do think that this is pretty cool. I think it would be very fascinating to see, one, why he would do that, and two, what this would look like in modern day Star Wars. But let me know in the comments below, and as always, check out our podcast, and may the Force be with you.